So up a day today. Starting with working up in singles on the bench press to a comfortable max single, and then I'll drop down to 70% just like I did with front squats, and just do an AMRAP for that. Where I do some back work, but I won't do as much back work as I'm doing on my chest. I've started with my chest because, like I said in a previous video, it's a bit of a lagging body part for us, so I'll do that while I'm fresh, and then I can put more sort of effort in with it before I accumulate some fatigue. So I'm going to hit this for a single and then keep working up until I fail. I always use the safeties, you know. If you don't, I'm sure you've seen that video on YouTube of that lad who died bench pressing. He wasn't using safeties, and the bar landed across his neck. So always use safeties on everything you do, because it doesn't look cool if you don't use them, and then if you drop the weight or you have an accident, you know, you'll really hurt yourself. So they're called safeties for a reason, so always stick them on. That felt easy enough, so I'll work up now, go up to 110, I think. Right, 110 on the bar now. I'll walk you through me setup for the bench press, and why I do what I do. So if you notice, I pull myself right through the edge of the bench first, and then plant my feet, pull myself back through a little bit further than where I'm going to land, if that makes sense. And then I drive with my feet. I've already got my hands in the position I need them in. I drive with my feet and push my traps into the bar, into the bench, which means I'll end up sliding up the bench a little bit more, but that'll put me in the right position of where I want to be to unrack the bar. And that helps keep everything tight. You know, if you've got that slight arch, and I always put my feet back, it prevents your arse from lifting off the bench when you go to press the weight. It also helps with using leg drive, because a lot of people, like, you don't realise that the bench press is a full body exercise. Essentially, you've got to keep everything tight, and you start from your toes upwards with the press, just like an overhead press, except you're laid down. So what I do is I'll do that, drive me traps into the bench, and I try and get my shoulder blades right back as if I'm trying to touch each other, and that helps pin your lats into position. So when you bench press, I'll do it from the side, you're not doing that. You press and you're just using your chest rather than bringing your shoulders into it, because your back's pinned. It just helps keep everything tight and stable. So I'll hit this and then go up again, providing I don't fail. And sliders are a must. Just another point with the setup for any lift that you do, even on the lighter weights, even when it's just a bar, I always set up exactly the same as what I would do for heavy weights, and then that just ingrains good habits into your technique and your form and things like that. Like, you're gonna have form breakdown and stuff like that, but that doesn't really matter as long as it's not absolutely terrible that you're gonna cause yourself an injury. You know, like on the deadlift, if you start rounding your lower back, you shouldn't be pulling like that. Upper back roundness is okay. I do that. A lot of people do, but lower back, you want to protect that. Bench press, if you start to find like your shoulders are coming through, or you know everything feels a bit off, then you should stop. That's form breakdown, technical breakdown. So at that point, you can just call it a day at that, and then like what I'm doing, I'll just drop the weight to something I can do a lot of reps with, or sort of more than 6 to 8 reps, and just do as many as you can do. I love that style of training. It's what I used to do years ago, and I've just started doing it again now. I feel like I get more out of it, but it doesn't take as long. You know, like one of my sessions could be an hour and a half. But when I was training, even when I was training with singles and things like that, and I was doing a lot of singles rather than just a single set, or a set of a single and then dropping to an AMRAP, some of my sessions were taking 3 or 4 hours. You know, and like my rest times were a bit longer, but not to account for another an hour and a half, 2 hours. So yeah, what I just said. On rest times, like I said before, if you're working up singles, heavy weights, you know, you can have up to 5 minutes rest in between, or however long it takes you to recover or feel recovered enough to go again. Where when you're doing like the accessory stuff, and even your assistance work, rest times can be shorter because it's not as much, there's not as much intensity, as much load. Like the reps, there's more reps obviously, but like there's not as much load. Right, go up again. Alright, that'll do. Now on to my AMRAP. So I hit 140 there for a single. So I took 70% of that, which is 98, but just to keep it right, I've gone with 100. So I like to go, if it's like a funny number like 98 or 96 or whatever, I'll just go like the next sort of increment up. So I'm just going to hit this for as many reps as I can do until just before I fail, and then I'll move on to some triceps. Oh, well, it was a good set. Right, that's bench press done. I did say in the last clip I was going to do triceps, but I forgot I've got to do some overhead pressing first. So I'm going to get 2 more sets done of this. I've already done a set, but didn't record properly. So I did 20 reps, so I'm going to aim for 20 again, and then do another set after that. I got some partials in there. Well, probably all partials, but happy with that. 1 more set of that, and then triceps. One more set. I went straight in with this weight simply because your triceps are warm from benching and overhead pressing, and I know what I can do on this. So what I'd recommend is, if it's your first session or whatever, still do your warm-ups with this movement, see what you can handle for say 15-20 reps, and then do 3 sets of that, and then you can either increase the load when you go in the following time or increase the reps or whatever. And just so long as you're progressing each session, when it starts to slow down, take a bit of a break by not going to the gym, but just decrease your reps, your weight, your sets for a week, and then you'll be recovered enough to come back in the following week and smash it. That's the same for any movement. Right, now I'm just going to do a couple of light sets of back, just so I get a little bit of stimulus. So I'm going to do some bent over rows, put my belt on just to save my lower back from fatiguing. So I'm just going to pull from the pins from a dead stop and up with my body at an angle rather than bent right over, just to save, like I say, my lower back and my hamstrings and stuff, because I'll be doing legs again in the next couple of days. So I'll get these done. Pulling from a dead stop helps with being able to set yourself again for the next rep. So if you notice there, when I was getting set for the next rep, it's as if you're bending the bar. So you hear that a lot on the bench press. So you're bending the bar, shift your elbows round in that position, and then you squeeze your scapula, which is where your shoulder blades are, backwards, and then you're set to pull with your lats. And you can feel everything firing. Right, so it's that movement. Pull your shoulders down and back, and then pull. I'll do another set of these, and then biceps, and then done. my biceps. While I rest, I'll just tell you a quick thing about calories. So, with me being on a cut at the moment, I'm 6'3", and I'm currently 105, 106. I'm hovering around them sort of numbers. I'm on 1800 calories a day, and I have been for, well, I started at about 2000, down to 1800 now, and that's been over the process of 3 months. I've never felt a dip in energy. I've never stopped fidgeting. I fidget all the time. My workouts feel better because I'm lighter, and I'm breathing heavily now, but like I said in my first video, my cardio's improved, and because I had a bit of body fat to lose, say a bit, quite a bit, that is sort of 3,500 calories in a pound of body fat. So if you think about, you want to lose a pound of body fat per week, there's 500 calories a day. You can take that from your body fat. So there's a calculation online somewhere, and I did have it, where if you work out how much body fat you have to lose, and then you multiply it by your current weight or whatever, it gives you a calculation of how much fat you can lose without affecting muscle, without creating muscle loss. So I had a look at that, worked it out, and I could lose 4 pounds of body fat a week without it affecting my muscle, without me losing muscle. So I did that. I've been doing that, like I say, for about 3 months now, and I've dropped 25 kilo. So it shows you how much body fat I had to lose. Obviously I've lost some muscle, but not a ton. I mean, you can tell I'm not skinny, you know. I'm currently about, well, my scales are like, the scales aren't completely accurate, but I measure about 16% body fat at the moment. I could be under that, I could be slightly over, but I was about 29% 3 months ago. So, you know, it's not like, people seem to like to make fat loss and training and all these things more complicated than what they are. Maybe so you'll buy programs off them, or diet plans, or whatever. I mean, I'm a PT myself, but like, I'll just say, my Fitness Pal, it's great. That's what I use. There are other macro trackers. you can download. I train upper lower. Sometimes I'll do arms on their own. Like I said before, I'll do shoulders every 3 days, but that's just because I'm starting to notice now where body parts are lacking. As long as you're training, especially as a beginner, your main muscle groups and the main movements, so some form of squat, whether it be a hack squat on the machine, leg press, barbell squat, goblet squat, a hip hinge movement. There could be a deadlift, RDL, single leg RDL, rack pull, something like that. Something for your back, a bent over row, lat pull down, chin ups, chest, bench press, press ups, flies, cable flies, shoulders, lateral raises, overhead pressing, front raises, rear delt raises. You get some of them in, do 150 minutes of cardio a week, and you work out your macros and your calories to burn however much body fat you want to burn a week. You're golden. You just stick with that. It's just consistency. I've been the worst for it in the past, where I jump from program to program and I think this one looks good and that one looks good and that one's going to make me super strong, that one's going to make me ripped. That's why just pick something, stick with it for 3 months, 12 weeks, stick with it, see how you get on, track your macros, and then change it up after that if you want to. If not, stick with the same thing. Whatever gets you moving, whatever, whatever gets you in the gym, gets you training, gets you healthy. Make sure you do your cardio. You'll notice a huge, huge difference. I mean, like I say, I've been training for 30 years and I feel the best I've ever felt in probably 12 or 13 of them years. Like, I probably feel as good now as what I did when I was early teens, something like that. So it's only getting better. Just consistency, and you rest, sleep, plenty of water, plenty of sodium, carbohydrates around training. Keep up with your fats for hormones, and correct amount of protein, the correct amount. It's negotiable. I very rarely hit my protein goals, which is gram of protein per pound of body weight. So I should be on 230 something grams of protein, and I very rarely get above 200. I've had days in the last few weeks where I've hit 130, 140, but carbs are muscle sparing anyway, so as long as you're eating carbs as well and your protein's not super low, even on a fat loss diet, people say keep your protein super high. If I was to follow that mentality, I might need to be eating 300 grams of protein a day, and because I'm eating carbs, I mean, my carbs are low, really, 180 grams, something like that, but I haven't experienced much muscle loss, if any. Like I say, I feel better, my energy's there. Them things. You sleep, make sure you get 7 to 8 hours a night if you need it. I know people who manage on 4 or 5 hours a night, and their body obviously recovers well in that amount of time. Creatine, get creatine in you. I take 10 milligrams something a day, whatever it is. 2 scoops. Get that in you. Multivitamin, cod liver oil, sorted. Just like I say, follow that for 12 weeks and you're golden. And on that note, I'm going to do 2 more sets of these and then get something to eat because I'm starving. So I'll see you in the next video. I'll not bother filming these because biceps is boring.